not diabetic and want to even go low carb, watch your carbs, should still be eating this. We've got, these are wonderful noodles made with whole grain. These are wheat flour. We've got rice noodles, whole wheat pasta you've seen in the store. These are called soba noodles. It's a Japanese noodle that's made with butter. They are wonderful. They're so delicious and amazing. This is a tricolor quinoa. Thank you. Yes. Basmati rice, a brown rice, a beautiful barley, which actually, even though I go low carb, I will make a soup with barley in it, and it's perfect. For some reason, everybody's a little bit different, but I process the barley fine as long as it's not too much. So even these are great to have, even when you're low carbing. Lentils, and of course beans are so healthy. These are substitutions. What I developed was a three-prong approach. And what it is some simple substitutions for high-carb ingredients, using common cooking techniques in a different way, in an uncommon way, and portion control. What we have here are I use these for pasta. It's called shirataki noodles. You can find them in Publix. You can find them in Whole Foods. They're starting to appear in a lot of places. These are from Japan.
I have a hard time getting the rinsing them and stuff like that.
They're a little off-putting when you open it.
Right.
Run them under cold water for about 5 minutes. Okay. And then, because these have a little bit of tofu in them, I toss it into whatever I'm preparing them in, sauce or something, just for a couple of minutes, because they're all
already cooked.
Exactly. And they're made from a plant root. And a portion of this, a 4-ounce portion of this, compared to 2 ounces of the pasta, is only net 2 grams of carb and 25 calories.
Well, the whole bag is only 40 calories.
Exactly. Compared to there's like 200 calories in a serving of pasta and 40 grams of carbohydrate. So it's pretty amazing. Another thing I use for a pasta is a spaghetti squash, and I roast some off. And, a lot of people do that. It's great. It's a great substitute. There are a couple of jarred, prepared sauces on the market that are really low in carb. They're a little bit pricier, but when you're using a measured amount, you're not going to go crazy because it is a carb. And by the portion, it's really got great value. This is, I think, a net 4 grams of carb, which is amazing. That's a great amount compared to like a Prego or one of those other sauces, which is like easy. People love mashed potatoes.
Do you get okay photos on them? Okay.
What I've come up with is
awesome.
a unique, and these recipes are on my website, by the way. It's a unique blending for mashed potato, a Yukon Gold potato, which is a little bit lower in carb. It's a less starchy potato, and cauliflower. And you cook them both, and you process it, and you just flavor it up the way you would any mashed potato. I love to do roasted garlic and sour cream in it, butter, heavy cream, the works. A great substitute for French fries is the jicama. This can be eaten raw, which is wonderful in salads, or you can cook it. I will cook it the same way I do French fries. Cut it up to the sticks, parboil them in the oil, and then flash fry them to brown them. It's a little bit different texture than a potato, but when you're not going to eat potatoes and you want fries to go with that burger, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Another great vegetable to use for a place of mashed potato is celery root. This is just a little baby one. They can be gigantic. And they're nasty looking things, but you very carefully take a knife or a peeler, peel it up, dice it up, throw it in boiling water like you would a potato, and cook them, and then put them through your food processor, the rice or something to mash them up, and it's wonderful. Flavor it up like a potato.
Does it have a celery type flavor?
No, it's very mild. It's sweet. It's got a wonderful, nice flavor to it. And I've dressed it up with a little just truffle oil on it. You can get really fancy with it, or you can just eat it with some butter and cream in it, and it's perfect. I love to do a whipped sweet potato. I did this on Thanksgiving holidays a couple of years back, and I posted it on my website. People just went crazy for it. I took a combination of a little bit of sweet potato, cauliflower, and carrots, and I cooked them, blanched and boiled them, and then I mashed them up, and I added sugar-free syrup to it, or cinnamon, you know, whatever flavorings you like. And it was amazing. It was a whipped potato. The thing is, the flavor of the potatoes carries through the vegetables. And it doesn't taste like you're eating a plate of vegetables. It tastes like you're eating,
Yeah,
you know,
I've made
the potato.
sweet potato casserole with the two of these.
Nice.
Mashed it.
Very
and
nice.
My grandchildren didn't.
So, yeah, people don't
Yeah, they
realize.
don't,
I had
yeah.
people email me and tell me, you know, I served that dish. None of my guests at the holiday table knew what they were eating. They loved it. They said it was great. And, you know, or one woman said, my husband's a meat and potatoes guy. That's all he eats. He did not know the difference. I love hearing that kind of thing. I love it. Another great product I found that, and I've used this quite often, is lavash. And this is in place of a bread. It's a wrap. I think a quarter of one sheet is a portion, and it's about 5 grams of carb. You can't beat that. You can make pizza with it. I've made pizza with this kind of
What's
thing.
the flavor and texture like?
It's sort of like a flatbread. You know, like the flat out flatbreads like that. But this is it's unbleached, unbromelated, and enriched wheat flour. It's really made quite nicely. You could eat it as is, make a little sandwich wrap or a breakfast wrap, and fly with it. And then I use flax meal. I discovered a way to take flax meal, eggs, and a little bit of water, and I make pancakes. I make crepes, and I fill them with sweet, you know, a sweet filling or a savory filling, and lots of things with crackers and flax. It's wonderful. It's really a marvelous thing. And there are plenty of recipes on my website with all these ingredients. Now, when you go low carb, and personally I go super low carb, I eat about 20 or 30 grams of carbs a day, most of it plant-based, so which is really great for me. When you go low carb, you have to eat full fat. And people scratch their head. How could you eat butter and eggs and, you know, all heavy cream in your coffee, or half and half in your coffee, and never use milk or skim milk, and be losing weight? And what it is when your body doesn't have the carbohydrates to burn, your body uses that for your energy. It looks for another source, and what it uses are fats.
Aren't there a lot of carbs in the half and half?
No, these are very low in carbs.
It's the low-fat milk?
Low-fat milk, skim milk, and whole milk have more carbs.
Okay.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's amazing. And in that information packet that I have here for everybody, there are 2 studies, and when they compared low-fat diet, low-carb diet, and Mediterranean diet studies, and what they discovered was the weight loss was fairly the same between the Mediterranean and low-carb, not with the low-fat as much. But the best diet out of the 3 was the low-carb, because not only did you lose the weight, but you had amazing health benefits. And even though people were eating high-fat, their lipids, their HDL, LDL, everything was better than everybody else on the other diets. And all the statistics are it's pretty amazing stuff. And I do a lot of baking, as I'm sure a lot of people do. And you can certainly bake without flour. I brought some samples, as a matter of fact, of some delicious blueberry muffins. And I use for baking almond flour and coconut flour. And I've hit upon a great combination of the flours and the amount of moisture you have to add to it. So that's the trick, and the fat. And I'll use in the muffins sour cream and eggs, a little heavy cream or a little almond milk or something. And each recipe varies a little bit, but it's basically the same portions. And the muffins, you'll tell me if you like them or not, if you can taste much of the difference. And there are great sweeteners on the market for low carb, for sugar-free. Besides Splenda. Splenda, it's not bad. That's what I've started with, but I've been doing a lot more work now with the Truvia and the Stevia, which are a little bit cleaner. You've got great flavorings, unsweetened cocoa powder, the baker's chocolate, things like that. Amazing. Something else I've discovered, agar-agar. This is also another Japanese product, another Asian product. And not to say anything bad about Whole Foods. This one, I bought this one at Whole Foods. It's a 1-ounce package. It was almost $8. I bought this one in the Asian market by my house. $1.50. Yeah. So look online for the Asian market near you. But you know, if you don't have one in Whole Foods, what you have to do, then that's what you do.
I've seen that in recipes. What exactly? I don't know what that is.
It is a thickener. It's like a gelatin.
Oh, okay.
It's all natural. It's actually made from seaweed, and it's amazing. The dinner that we did here last month. Oh, you were there? Thank you. The panna cotta, the dessert, was thickened with the agar.
Oh, all right.
And was sweetened with cocoa and the unsweetened baker's chocolate, and I used the stevia in that, I believe. And it you tell me, you know, if you like it.
I took the 3 pieces home to my husband. He ate them all.
There you go. Okay, I think that's that's a 10.
Instantly.
How do you use the agave? Because I have them and I'm trying to bake with it, but everything comes out as a disaster.
It adds moisture to a recipe.
Okay.
So you have to consider. Usually,
would you use it like a sub for honey or something?
I do. When I bake, I'll use a Splenda or the Truvia, and I save the agave to use as in place of a honey if I don't want to use honey. But honey is very low on the glycemic index, and I do have some of the delicious honey that's carried here at Bedner on my tray. I love that. The agave, it's great for caramelizing things. So, you know, if you're doing wings or you know, a chicken dish or something like that where you want to get that crispy crust on it, the agave is marvelous. And actually, in the marinade for the fish that I'm going to do, there's a touch of agave in that to just give it that nice little caramelized browning on it. These are great, I call flavor enhancers. And these are virtually no calories, no carbs. And there are just so many different things to experiment with out on the market. I have an assortment of vinegars that makes people's heads spin. Sherry vinegar, pomegranate vinegar, you name it. But I mean, I just brought a small assortment, and of course, all the spices and herbs, and of course, fresh herbs and all the rest. Chili powder. You don't just have to get the chili powder in the store. I love ancho chili powder. If you like it hot, chipotle chili powder. Just all different varieties. And of course, stock is very good. I always buy the low sodium because I like to control the salt in what I'm preparing. I don't want the manufacturer to control salt. These are some of the snacks I eat. I eat very well, trust me. And I'll make a snack and mix almonds and some apricots and coconut, unsweetened cranberries. Just like my own little bag of granola, snacking as I go. These are flax crackers that you can buy. That they're net 0 carbs. And take this in a little hummus or whatever you like to put on a cracker. You put some cheese on it, and you're low carb. And you're going to be losing weight.
Net 0 carbs. What is that?
Net carbs is when you. I'm going to show you the label. It's really important to read all the nutrition labels. And what they show are the total carbs. And from the total carbs, to get the net carbs, you deduct the dietary fiber, okay, and so they don't count them as the carbs, as something and these are wonderful. They taste great. You know, it's a little different.
It's kind of Asian.
These are the rosemary and tender. They make different flavors. They make different. I use flax seeds. I'll make my own crackers too. I'll take the lavash or flat out bread. I'll take a little egg white, and you know, brush it on. Sprinkle flax seeds. You know, all kinds of seeds, poppy seeds, sesame, everything.
Little bit.
Season is wonderful. Those are wonderful. They're healthy sources of fat and protein. And that's like my mainstay snack is nuts.
Very tasty.
Sometimes like beans are not low carb, but beans are a great source because it's a great combination of protein. So if you're not diabetic or you're not, you know, if you haven't low carb, if you're 60 grams of carb, not controlling sugar, beans will certainly bring your body carb utilizes. But if you aren't I put a little beans. I'll put a little in a soup or stew. I don't sit down with, obviously not beans and rice, but I don't sit down with, put full of beans. But they are a great, great source of I think those came from Whole Foods, actually. They have a section with raw foods and so there's a live food. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably, you can get them at a lot of different places. Great, great thing to think about pairing. Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't like chocolate? Did you know even diabetics who eat low carb can eat chocolate? Yes, I love chocolate. Anything over 80% out is wonderful. It's low carb. You don't eat the whole bar. I mean, a serving size of this is a half a bar. That's huge. That's a lot. And it's only 5 grams of sugar, and again, it's a net 11 grams of carb. But I'll have like 1 square, 2 squares. You just want to have that little something, and it's wonderful. So there are a lot of products like that out there. And cocoa nibs. They're actually the meat. And they're roasted. They're wonderful. You can use them in place of chocolate chips recipes. 2 grams of carb in 2 tablespoons. Grams. I'd like people to try these things. It's an experience. Oh, you have them? Do you like them? Or you want to just hold them? They're cocoa nibs. Give that a shot. And actually, Marissa, the nutritionist, the holistic nutritionist, my friend, she uses these in place of chocolate chips and recipes also.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And yet, sugar is less than 1 gram. And I mean, it's a great
So
replacement.
it doesn't give you the effect as when it's sugar-free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't often use a lot of sugar-free products, and I certainly don't use any of the low-fat products. What?
That's an interesting thing.
Isn't it? It's different. It's a nice roasty kind of flavor. What they discovered was that people on the low-fat diets, long term, their bloods,
Right.
their cholesterol levels and stuff went up. Low fats make people fat. Low fat products. When they pull the fat out, they want to put the manufacturers. It's processed first of all. Manufacturer tries to put flavor back in. They use sugar and all kinds of chemicals.
Yeah, they don't realize how much sugar is put in to take the place of the fat taste.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why I always stress to read labels on everything. And of course, this lovely, gorgeous basket of produce. I love to, like if I make a dish, say a chili con carne or something, and I want to stretch it out because I will have the beans in it. I make it with meat and beans. And I want to stretch it out. I love to add a variety of different peppers, chili peppers, and more onion. And I use things like these to sort of bulk out a recipe to stretch the carbohydrate content. And it works wonders. Pasta sauces, things like that, when you make sauces. It's great. It's absolutely great. So these are just some examples. Anybody have any questions? Or yes, sir.
No, I actually just saying hello. I want to know when we get a taste.
Make sure you
Oh, thank you.
something to eat.
I'm just going to start cooking now.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah,
Just
so
are your
she makes her
food groupings on your website also? Like
Food
how you've arranged things here?
No, I don't. That's a really great idea.
She has
If
a
you want to
website?
take pictures, please feel free.
And what's your website?
It's chefbarrae.com.